Yo, what's up guys? I'm Raga.
I'm Kevin.
And today we're going to do a quick review on the RS V5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a kite that you've been flying for a while, you know intimately, and one that I actually got to test thanks to Chris Bobrick in Hatteras in Florida. Tons of conditions from waves to flat water, big air. Know it pretty well actually from your lineup, so yep, let's dive into this one, eh?
Awesome, man. Stoked to tell everybody about it.
All right, so out the gates, who is the RS for, I guess? What kind of kite is this? Where do you classify this one?
So it's the 3-strut Delta hybrid, and it's designed as our all-around, do-it-all kite. So, all-around performance, jack of all trades, master of all trades, I like to call it. But yeah, I mean, it's designed to be that, 70% of the market kite.
The super popular kite that everybody's kind of chasing after right now, and in the market as well, everybody's kind of asking for. So it's a necessity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, I actually did get to use this kite, and I tried it in the waves. I believe we had a good big air session on it. A little bit of freestyle, not a lot, but I found it to be surprisingly good, like in a lot of those categories as you would expect from like the do-it-all.
Right.
So it's kind of odd. I use this kite probably for some more unusual things because it is more of a free ride kite. That guy who's doing a lot of hooked-in tricks, probably getting a little bit loopy. So for me to like go into the waves and things like that, I found that it actually had a lot of strengths in that category where I wouldn't expect it. Where would you say the strengths lie with this kite and for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about the kite is it's very reactive and has light bar pressure, but it also jumps well, so for me, the fact that it can ride well in the surf and also works well as a free ride kite is really, really cool. I mean, that was kind of one of the surprising things. A lot of the kites geared towards free ride are geared towards flat water performance rather. So people that are, riding a twin tip, doing some boosting, mowing the lawn, you want it to relaunch well, be good upwind. But at the same time, some of those kites tend to be a little sluggish in terms of, like I said, being able to ride waves with them. And if they are good at riding waves, they don't have a lot of low end power. So the fact that it's actually a very playful kite but has low end and jumps well are some of the things that I think are really, really cool. And like I said, the surf aspect really is what surprised me the most initially on the kite. I'm
glad you said that because I've done actually a lot of reviews on like the 3-strut kites, and I overuse the word playful because that's what you get, right?
Yeah.
Light bar pressure, playful, reactive, like really enjoyable to fly, but also kind of dependable. And I think it almost falls in that category of like, what's the way to say this? Like where the kite kind of does a lot of work for the user, I guess. Like you're not really thinking about a lot, which is like super common with a lot of kites in this category now. I guess where would you say maybe like some of the weaknesses lie in this kite? Like who is this not for? What kind of disciplines would you maybe not want to use it for? And it is do it all. It does do pretty well on a lot of these, but what would you say? Where would you say that would fit like on a scale? I guess what are our weaknesses?
Yeah, so I would say just in terms of weaknesses for the kite, you would have people that are leaning towards something that has heavier bar pressure or like that heavy, like that heavier feel of a kite.
More feedback kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. The kite is reactive, but the light bar pressure can throw some people off.
For sure.
So some people, for example, if you're looking to ride park, the fact that it's adjustable really helps out. Like I was riding the 14 in the park yesterday, and I had it on like the slowest turning speed. I was doing everything I could to slow the kite down because it is that quick and reactive kite.
Right.
And under those circumstances, I still was able to like, okay, make it happen, make it work, and like was still stoked on it in that aspect. But I was like, okay, I definitely would rather be on an FS, if I was doing this type of stuff because of the overall feel, the bar pressure, and the fact that even though the FS is super quick kite, it's also I feel in some ways easier to slow down if you need to.
That makes sense. So yeah, you kind of have that nice little gap where you actually have a purpose-built kite in your line if you've got the FS for the freestyle and for the park and for what those, I don't know, maybe like 10% of kiteboarders these days are kind of into.
Right.
So it's nice that you have that separation between that kite and the RS, where it doesn't really need to fill that gap either, because whoever's buying an RS probably has no interest in those things as well.
Right. Yeah. So even for me, like if I'm going to like train, I mean I don't train anymore really. Behind the computer all the time, but like if I'm going in like pristine flat water conditions or like at my home spot or like going somewhere where I can like carry a decent amount of kites, I'll carry some WS's and I'll carry some FS's. But if I'm going on a trip, or if I'm especially going on a trip that's not necessarily supposed to be kiteboarding, I'll throw the RS into my bag. So I'm like, if I get a chance to kite, I'm gonna still be able to have fun. You know what I mean? So most of the places that I go that are, I'll go to Hawaii sometimes in the winter and the water's a bit choppy. There is some flat water there, but it's like choppier water and waves. So I can go there and I'm like, okay, I can boost with the RS, I can ride waves. And if I do happen to get a flat water session, I'm not trying to push and do like the latest whatever I think I can do.
For sure.
So it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, like I can appreciate those sessions on, like I said, the FS, like a bridle C, or more of a, like I said, rigid direct feedback kite that, you know, allows me to kind of think that I'm better than I am, right?
Yeah, for sure. And to bring the objective side into things, having used the RS, and I actually did get to try the 17 meter RS, as well as I think like a 10 meter and a 12 meter. I was actually pretty hype on this kite. Yeah. Even doing things like actually doing like flat water, like a little bit of flat water, even doing like a little bit of flat water freestyle with it, just in general when we were in Hatteras and like Florida as well, light wind, moderate winds, checking these kites out. I actually found that in some ways I almost preferred the RS to the FS, which would probably surprise a lot of people because I get really hype on the freestyle crossover kites all the time.
Sure.
I felt like there was actually a lot of performance in the RS. So when I was, especially the big one, it really surprised me like how performance minded like that kite actually like felt. Like that's a great 17 meter kite. I'm still recommending that kite to people all the time. And same thing with the smaller sizes. They kind of surprised me how much I enjoyed that, because I don't actually normally gravitate towards that kind of kite. So I do actually personally really like the RS in your lineup more than the other. It's my favorite kite in your lineup. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it actually is. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the kites are kind of individually tuned, you know, per size. So it's funny that you say that about the freestyle, because I mean, Chris, I was talking to him about, like, we used to have a 16 FS. Yep. Right. And just because, again, just the market not necessarily being conducive, it's like 10% of us actually are like, really, that kite is like what we want in our hands. A lot of people didn't really buy the 16, right? So we just, you know, just kind of canned it. We were like, hey, hey, Chris, like, do you want to have a 16 FS? Is this something that you need? Or, you know, talking to some of the other team riders, is this something that you really feel is necessary? And they're like, no, like the 17 RS is actually super good for freestyle, and it's going to have more low end than a 16 FS would anyway.
Which is what you want out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like on the other end of the spectrum. So I feel like, especially in the larger sizes, you still can, like I said, the 14, the 17, I'm still having fun in the park, still having fun doing flat water sessions. And then again, the smaller sizes, I'm really having fun in the waves. And the fact that I could do that, and has that versatility. Again, if it's really windy and I want to use the FS for a freestyle session, or you know, if I go the other way and I want to have something that's a bit more focused in this category, for sure there's going to be limitations to a certain extent. But overall, I mean, like, it's not going to hold me back. Most of our beginner, intermediate, advanced individuals, and again, even the pros, especially with the flat water stuff for the 17 meter, they're loving it as well.
Awesome, dude. Well, hey, I think we're at the 8-minute mark, so I guess, yeah, if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Any questions, ping us in the comments. I have used this kite, I'm pretty proud on it, so I'll get back to you and let you know what's up with it, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.